Marion will be known to most people who know anything about the foundation. Thank you, Marion, making your way up here. You could go around that way.
Hi, I'm Marion Schwartz. I'm Advocacy Officer for the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation. I'm a research advocate, I'm a patient advocate, I'm a patient navigator, and I'm moderator on the Global Discussion Board. So I assume many of you people have been in contact with me, and I'm thrilled to see everyone. We're looking to increase research advocacy in numerous areas, and we need it. We have very few. At this time, only Melinda now is now working actively with the NCI, which I worked with for 7 years, bringing this cancer actually into the physician community. So, you know, you all can do it. It doesn't take anything specific to do it. You just have to have passion. And you may work with investigators, you work with companies and government agencies, and which eventually will help accelerate research. And what you really do is you infuse the human element, you, the patient, into the research process. You may help enhance trial study design, which is very current now. Investigators are looking for your input, as does pharma and biotech. You may be reviewing protocols. You may provide input in specific trial designs, and you may work on institutional review boards called IRBs, or you may review and research grant proposals or project proposals. There are many ways that research advocates can engage with their community. You may work on a hospital, clinic, or clinical institutional review board. You may really engage with patients and the public about clinical trials. You may review educational clinical trials materials for patients. You may advise hospitals or clinics on accessibility and support for trials. You may raise funding for research, and in particular in the cost that is involved with patients being in clinical trials. And this is one really important area that we'd like to see covered in every state in this country. You may want to reach out to state legislators and to help enact law and regulations that support patient participation in cancer research. And this can be done. I think we have patients from all over the country, and some people, in fact, Melinda did a wonderful job with that by enacting clinical trials are covered by the state, correct? Is that the way it was? And really, what do we need to do? What does it take for us to be a clinical research advocate? Really, I call it the passion to make things better. You need decent communication skills. You need to have the ability to represent all patients, not just our cancer, but all patients as well. And you have to somewhat learn the basics of the science and the treatments. And you need to be able to work with others. So when we're diving right in, the basics of cancer is easy to understand. It may take some time. No one is watching you. You can do it at your own leisure. And for that, we're using a specific website. And it starts with the basics, what we know about cancer and how is cancer studied, and understanding the evidence-based healthcare and drug development. How does it happen? And then there are different webinars that we can provide you with. Once you've done the basics, and many of you may just breeze through this because you may already have that. We're moving on to an institute that has supported advocates and educated advocates for several years now, and that is the Research Advocacy Network called RAN. And they're designed to equip advocates with an understanding of the medical research, the system, the scientific concepts, and the safeguards for research participants. They offer numerous tools and resources to increase comprehension and dissemination of research studies and help communicate effectively with patients, researchers, and other advocates. Some of their tutorials are they're encompassing biosimilars. The thing again, you can do this at your own pace. Biomarkers in cancer, clinical trial design, genomics in cancer, molecular diagnostics, pathology and tissue research, precision medicine in oncology, which is where we're heading, quality of life and patient-reported outcome. There's these changes we're looking for. The quality of life, have this included in virtually every clinical trial that's run on our patients. Targeted therapies are the big hit right now in understanding the risks. Most people I have spoken with over the last 11 years would like to donate something to research. And whole body donations, I don't see that. It is not available to anyone. At one point, the NIH offered it, but they quickly stopped doing this. But you can still donate your tissue to research. And you want to ask yourself, why is it important for me to even consider this? So this RAN, Research Advocacy, has a tutorial on this and gives you explanation in English as to why you may want to consider helping research for the future. And then, of course, the importance of tissue donations and research, and a brochure and how you advance research by donating tissue in a clinical trial. And they also offer a great communication guide, advancing research by donating tissue in a clinical trial. They also offer a great roadmap which takes you step by step as to from the beginning of your basic understanding of this cancer and how in the various ways you can be engaged as a research advocate. And it's very precise, and we will have this on our site. They also continue to work with us seasoned advocates because as long as I've been doing this, I sometimes still have to go back to the basics. It just is so comprehensive. For that, they must attend preparatory conference calls and webinars that are run by Research Advocacy Network, which are then supported by the learning material. And this helps improve the skills in the understanding of biomedical research and culminates with attendance at ASCO annual meeting. And I have to say, for the last 8 years, not once have they rejected a scholarship for one of our patient advocates. And there's more information. Again, this will all be in a clearly written manual on our site within the next couple of weeks. The two positions that we're looking to fill right now are with the FDA, and they're looking for an experienced cholangiocarcinoma patient or caregiver. So I requested to define experienced, and it really only means that you know about your disease, that you may have interacted with a foundation such as ours or in other groups, but they're pretty lenient about as to what the qualifications are in regards to your experience. And I would think everyone in this room is experienced enough to be an FDA patient representative. The appointed candidates will advise on drugs and devices, the biologics currently being considered for approval, and this is a very important part for us. You know, when regulatory approval comes in for a certain drug, we like a patient to be on the FDA side because their experience counts, and provide input for early stage regulatory medical product development and review process. They will be part of the advisory committee to offer the patient perspective, ask questions, and give comments to assist the ultimate committee in making their recommendations. The other more qualified advocates will always be welcome in the National Cancer Institute. They assess, with even your skills at this point, they will assess each applicant and see their interest and their experience and see if they can align them with a special area that's needed. But the requirement's a bit tougher. It needs more than 2 years of involvement in cancer research-related activities, personal experience with the cancer. Of course, we all qualify for that. And the ability to voice and demonstrate a collective patient perspective, meaning knowledge of multiple disease experience and the ability to convey this collective perspective rather than their own exclusive experience. And what that really means is that while they're learning to become advocates, you're going to be involved with other foundations and other disease-specific groups, and that gives you enough information to understand that breast cancer is handled differently, of course, than our cancer, but it gives you that overall experience. There's several white papers. You can look at those on our website, and I don't want to go into those. And these are my resources, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Marion. Thanks for all the work you've done as a research advocate. Thanks to all the other research advocates within the foundation. And if you are inspired to take one of those roles, I'm sure you'll have lots of inspiration there. So thanks again.